Hello everyone. The topic is book building. This is very common in IPOs. You must have heard this name while participating in any IPO. Normally there are two types of investors: institutional investors and retail investors or individual investors. Individual investors are like us, like individuals. And institutional investors are banks, big corporates, mutual funds, pension companies, insurance companies. So book building is a process to determine an IPO price, especially for the institutions. So book building is a process to determine the IPO price. So what happened? For example, you are going into the IPO. So in book building process, you will go with the range, with the floor price and with the ceiling price. For example, I was part of the recent IPO in this country. So the floor price was 62 and the ceiling price was 66. And based on the demands, underwriter and investor bankers were sitting and they will see the demand. Based on the demand, they will set the final price. If the demand is very high, very excessive, likely chances that higher price will be set. If the demand is lower, if the demand is not that great, any price between 62 and above can be set. So this is different from the Dutch auction method. In book building, final price is set based on the demand within specified range, like in my example. But in the Dutch auction, price is purely based and set by the market from the highest bid and then set at a price where all the volume is enough to cover your particular issue. Book building involves institutional investors, and retail investors will be involved after the book building at the final set price. But in Dutch auction, all participants will participate in the bidding, even at the start. Book building allows for more flexibility in pricing as the issuer can choose a final price. But in the Dutch auction, final price is determined strictly by the highest clearing bid. So, book building is a process to determine an IPO price. It will start with the floor, with the minimum value and with the ceiling value. Sometimes only start with the floor value and sometimes with the floor and a ceiling value. Book building is a process for the institutions. Retail investors, individual investors will be invited after the set price. So it is different from the Dutch auction method. In many of the countries, book building process is being used for the IPO compared to the Dutch auction. Why? Because in book building, as an issuer, you have the choice to set the lower price, higher price, and even the final price after the demand. So you have to tell me in your country which process is being used, book building or the Dutch auction method. Thank you so much.